Good morning, and welcome to the third day of our Advent Calendar. My name's Suzanne. I don't know if you are like me, someone who grew up with the cardboard Advent calendars, opening a window each day to find a Christmas tree, a snowman, a bauble, and so on until you began to get nearer to Christmas, when you would start to get the shepherds and the angels, the stars and the three kings, and then finally you would get to the one space with two doors to open, and behind that would be the manger scene, and you would know that it was Christmas Eve. My children were given Advent calendars as well, but they were chocolate ones, and now you can get them with perfume, with electronics and toys and all kinds of things. And while it is nice to do something as a countdown, I miss the simplicity of the cardboard ones that truly were a countdown to the season. Wikipedia lists over 30 celebrations or festivals in December. Some are religious, some are for saints, some are festivals of light, but not all of them. There are days of gift givings and fertility rites and purification rites. Some are very ancient and others are brand new. But whichever you celebrate, if you do, enjoy it. For many people, however, this season's events are not something they look forward to. For children and adults with autism or ADHD, for example, it may spark overwhelm and then shutdown or meltdown will occur. The changes in their routine, the noise and the lights, the enforced meetings with relatives who are almost strangers, or even Santa himself, and the weird food and the traditions will all impact them. Also, those who have lost someone in the past year or who have poorly relatives, they will be going to experience a very different Christmas this year. Many of us know people who live alone, who just don't bother with decorations or special meals. It's just another day. There are working parents who suffer guilt because they cannot attend school concerts. Others I know will be upset because they cannot spend as much money as they normally do, and have had to tell the children that there will be less under the tree this year. Those who are homeless or unwell, or who will be away from loved ones this Christmas in hospitals or at homes, will also be dreading the day. When you look back at your own childhood, the things you tend to remember will be the laughter, being with family, the excitement of staying up late playing games, of swapping beds so relatives can stay, who gets to sit on the wobbly stool so everybody can squeeze round the dinner table. You remember the smells and the tastes. You may even remember the careful hoarding and spending of pocket money so that you can buy a small gift of your choice for somebody. Or maybe you made things to give to people. I remember, I think it must have been at play school, sewing a little boot just to hold a packet of razor blades that hung on the tree as a gift for my dad. You may remember a few of the gifts that you got yourself, but most of them will be forgotten. So don't stress too hard over it when money is tight. I too have been in a place where the food bank and donated gifts have helped me out. But paint a smile on your face and do your best. Build memories with those you love. If you are alone, can you get out the photos or the slides and relive Christmases past? Your family in the spirit world will draw ever closer to you, and while there may be tears in your eyes, there will be love in your heart. Some people this year will be working at hospitals and fire stations and so on. Spare a thought for them. And if you have the misfortune to find yourself in A&E this Christmas, be kind to them. Treasure the family traditions and the memories you have, and share them with your family. I have a precious film of a family Christmas long before I was born. The echoes of it ran through my own childhood, but most of the people in it are unknown by my own children. Were you the first person to find an elf on the shelf, or to discover snowy boot prints of Father Christmas? Which aunt always buys socks or smellies? Who gets drunk first? Who snores the loudest after lunch? What TV or films are on your must-watch list? Each house has its traditions, and I would like to share with you one from America now. The story was originally published in December 1982 in Woman's Day magazine. It was the first place winner out of thousands of entries in the magazine's My Most Loving Holiday Tradition contest. It is For the Man Who Hated Christmas by Nancy W. Gavin. And as a result of this, there is an ongoing charity that's been founded as a result. It is just a small white envelope stuck between the branches of our Christmas tree. No name, no identification, no inscription. It's peeked through the branches of our tree for the past 10 years or so. It all began because my husband Mike hated Christmas. Not the true meaning of Christmas, but the commercial aspects of it. The overspending, the frantic running around at the last minute to get a tie for Uncle Harry, and the dusting powder for Grandma. The gifts given in desperation because he couldn't think of anything else. Knowing he felt this way, I decided one year to bypass the usual shirts, sweaters, ties, and so forth. And I reached for something special just for Mike. The inspiration came in an unusual way. Our son Kevin, who was 12 that year, was wrestling at the junior level at the school he attended, and shortly before Christmas there was a non-league match against a team sponsored by an inner-city church. These youngsters, dressed in sneakers so ragged that shoestrings seemed to be the only thing holding them together, presented a sharp contrast to our boys in their spiffy blue and gold uniforms and sparkling new wrestling shoes. As the match began, I was alarmed to see that the other team was wrestling without headgear, a kind of light helmet designed to protect a wrestler's ears. It was a luxury the ragtag team obviously could not afford. Well, we ended up walloping them. We took every weight class, and as each of their boys got up from the mat, he swaggered around in his tatters with false bravado, a kind of street pride that couldn't acknowledge defeat. Mike, seated beside me, shook his head sadly. I wish just one of them could have won, he said. They have a lot of potential, but losing like this could take the heart right out of them. Mike loved kids, all kids, and he knew them, having coached Little League football, baseball, and lacrosse. And that's when the idea for his present came. That afternoon I went to a local sporting goods store and bought an assortment of wrestling headgear and shoes, and sent them anonymously to the inner city church. On Christmas Eve, I placed the envelope on the tree, the note inside telling Mike what I had done, and that this was his gift from me. His smile was the brightest thing about Christmas that year, and in succeeding years. For each Christmas I followed the tradition, one year sending a group of mentally handicapped youngsters to a hockey game, another year a cheque to a pair of elderly brothers whose home had burned to the ground the week before Christmas, and so on and on. The envelope became the highlight of our Christmas. It was always the last thing opened on Christmas morning, and our children, ignoring their new toys, would stand with wide-eyed anticipation as their dad lifted the envelope from the tree to reveal its contents. As the story grew, the toys gave way to more price, but the envelope never lost its allure. But the story doesn't end there. You see, we lost Mike last year due to the dreaded cancer. When Christmas rolled around, I was still so wrapped in grief I barely got the tree up. But Christmas Eve found me placing an envelope on the tree, and in the morning it was joined by 3 more. Each of our children, unbeknownst to the others, had placed an envelope on the tree for their dad. The tradition has grown, and someday will expand even further, with our grandchildren standing to take down the envelope. Mike's spirit, like the Christmas spirit, will always be with us. I thought that was a nice idea, but it doesn't have to be so big. It doesn't have to be giving something to an entire team. You can just buy an extra gift and give it to a child before Christmas. Or you can drop something into the food bank. Or if you know your children have got lots and lots of toys that are going to be thrown out after Christmas, do your sorting out beforehand and just pass them on to the charity shop so that somebody else can give them as a gift. Yeah. If you are getting together with family for Christmas, often stories come out year after year of the cooking disasters. The time it wasn't Christmas until New Year because you were all ill. The Christmas tree that was too small or too big. The lights that exploded when you plugged them in. The turkey that was half cooked. And as I said, these memories shared with loved ones draw spirit closer. The pop songs or the carols, the flimsy angel passed down from tree to tree. The paper lantern squashed at the bottom of the box, made in infant's class. The gifts given by friends or made by people you work with and given to you. They all mean something special, and you remember those as you hang them up each year. And they link us to each other and also with spirit. There are men and women of the armed services fighting away from home this Christmas. Spare them a thought too. Church may or may not feature in your plans, but spare some time to send wishes of peace and goodwill out to all of mankind, and healing to Mother Earth also. As we bring inside the evergreen trees and holly, ivy and mistletoe to decorate doors and hearths and homes, we do it because we remember the greenness and the beauty of them in amongst the darkness of the winter. We may not remember the origins of their pagan pasts, of being to protect us from evil. There are candlelight services also common at this time of year, from Christingle to candlelight carols in spiritualist churches and centres around the world. They remind us that the light will return after winter solstice. The days will get longer, and the light and the sun will return. You are all spirit living a life on earth, and within you all is the divine light of God. Our first speaker told us to be kind to others and to live our life putting others first. Our second speaker spoke about hope. Each time we do something that is unselfish out of love for our fellow man, our light gets brighter. You may not have much to give, but a smile, a season's wish, a few moments chatting can be all it takes to put the light back into someone's life and to give them hope. And my hope for you all this Christmas is that you remember you are loved and valued, that you have hope for the future and joy in your heart. If you are going to be alone, remember there are online events like the one Veronica Jenkins is running. So I wish you all love, peace and comfort for the days ahead and into the new year. Thank you for your time.